Don't you need a little encouraging at a time just like this?
We have Mills Rodgers.
When somebody is successful, it's been a lot of things that went into it. It's not where it just happens. Like, bam, they're successful.
Timothy Bowers.
They're counting on me to succeed. And if I fail them.
Prepare to be inspired.
Coming up next.
Hello everybody, welcome to the Michael Finkley Show. I'm Michael Finkley. Today is Friday, October 2nd, 2020. We made it through another work week and October is among us. That means we have a little bit of time before the election and also a little bit more time before the holidays and then a little bit more time before the end of the year. Let's prepare ourselves, guys, accordingly. If you have not, please subscribe to our YouTube channel on the Michael Finkley Show and ring that bell for notification. You receive an email from us saying, hey, new content is uploaded. Thank you so much to our subscribers, our viewers, our future subscribers, our future viewers for watching. Remember, we are the Michael Finkley Show. We're here to inform, educate, and inspire. We're bringing you shows that you want to hear and that you need to hear as well, especially in a time just like this. So y'all, I told you last show that I had some things going on, right? Some things developing, all that kind of good stuff, right? So I tell you, before you, I am in my own place. Yay, I just recently moved. And I'm just starting a new aspect of my life that I am just loving, okay? I'm getting more in depth with my business, more in depth with this platform that I have. You know, persons are, I guess, seeing what I'm doing and they're taking heed to that now. I am enjoying it. So when I don't want to do, I remember you in mind and I've said I have to do. So I have to keep on going. Someone's out there. Someone needs encouraging and inspiring. And that's what the show is all about today. We're encouraging and inspiring others today. We have Mr. Mills Rodgers with us and we also have Mr. Timothy Bowers with us as well. I'm telling you, these brothers know how to speak a word over persons that they're talking with and over themselves as well to get the point across and again, healing in the midst. This is a show that you need to watch. So more to come with these two phenomenal gentlemen. We'll be right back.
Next, we chat with Mills Rodgers. We'll be right back. On the next Michael Finkley, Monday, we talk with Darnell Talbert about his time with the U.S. Coast Guard and how he's assisting students that want to pursue the same. Don't you dare miss the next Michael Finkley.
Welcome back to the Michael Finkley Show. As you know, today we are preparing to be inspired and encouraged. So much is going on in our nation. We need some positivity. And I tell you, one of those persons today with us, Mills Rodgers, he's the man for the job. Mills, good to see you.
Man, I'm so grateful to be here. Thank you for having me.
Oh, you are so welcome. We appreciate you for just saying yes. We definitely appreciate you. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
And so just watching you from afar, you know, on social media, this few months that we've been connecting on social media, you're educator, and has your education background prepared you for what you're doing now?
Oh, most definitely. A lot of times I get questions about being a speaker. And one of those questions is, have you gone to training, like to learn how to be a speaker? And I'm like, well, I taught 15 years in public schools, 7th grade, 8th grade, high school. I got plenty of training speaking to audiences that are always not the most willing participants. And so that's my training right there. I feel like that prepared me to get into speaking because, yeah, as a teacher, you need to be engaging. And you're trying to relate to kids that are not necessarily into what you're having to say when it comes to the subject matter. So, yeah, that's my training right there.
Gotcha. And you've taught for 15 years. What made you, or what were some of your influences in saying, hey, I want to go into this field?
Oh man. Well, you know, the thing is, my mom was a teacher,
Hmm.
but I never wanted to be a teacher. Like she tried to
Really?
nudge me in that direction when I was young. Like, hey, why don't you go to college and major in education and, you know, get into the profession? I was like, oh, hell no, I don't want to do that. You know, that's not for me. And so I went to college and of course I didn't major in education. I did some subbing when I was in college, but that confirmed at the time that I did not want to be a teacher because I'm like,
Yeah.
man, those kids, man, that's something else.
Right.
Well, you know, I did some other things in life, you know, along the way. And, you know, I kind of found myself and I found that, you know what, I enjoyed occupations at the time that focused on helping people.
Okay.
And plus I had some maturity. And then, so by the time I reached a certain age, I was like, you know what, teaching might not be too bad.
Hmm.
And so I got into teaching and I really enjoyed it. I mean, it was something, you know, I really treasured the relationships I built over the years, over 15 years. You know, you figure 100 students per year. So that's 1,500 people that you
Wow.
impacted
Yeah,
directly, you know,
that's a lot.
interacted with them every day. And so for me, at this stage, you know, today, it's so cool to see some of these people, these, you know, now they're grown-ups on social media and everything and seeing what they're doing and to think like, man, I played a small part in that, you know? So yeah, that's basically my story of how I got into education.
Oh, that's amazing. So you didn't want to do it, but you end up doing it anyway.
Uh-huh.
So that goes to show us never say never.
Oh man. Yep.
Never say never. What are some of your memorable stories? Because I too am in education as well. And I tell you, I have run into some students along these past 10 years that, I'm just, oh, I love you, but I love you with this, but I'm just like, I love you with this as well. So what are some of your memorable stories of your students?
Oh, there's so many. You know, unfortunately, sometimes we tend to look at some of the negative side of it, and so yeah, you do have those students that, you know, they don't live up to their potential, they get into trouble,
Yeah.
and you know, you just kind of shake your head at it. But then I also got to remember, hey, let's focus on those ones that are doing well. And so, you know, I mean, it's so many. It's hard to nail down a specific memory. But it's just like, I mean, I like the relationships and just, you know, even like I said, now a lot of times you'll get that student or two that'll message you on social media. Like the other day I had one, it was his birthday.
Hmm.
And I said, well, of course I messaged him. I said, man, happy birthday. You know, he's 25. I said,
Wow.
man, the years passed by fast. And he's like, you know, thank you, sir. And he's like, you know, you were one of my favorite teachers. And I'm like, wait, me? You know,
You sure?
because
Okay, good.
yeah, because it wasn't where I was like on him all the time. It wasn't like he was a bad student or anything, but he was pretty chill and everything. And it's, you know, that's the thing. You never know who you're impacting. And he's like, yeah,
Exactly.
he's like, I always
Yep.
loved how you were very creative in class and
Mhm.
you did things to try to make it engaging. Like I actually, here's a memory right here. I wrote raps because I was a science teacher at the time in 8th grade.
Uh-huh.
And so I wrote some raps to help the students remember some things like the lunar
Mhm.
cycle and chemistry and that sort of thing. And so they got a big kick out of it. You know, they thought it was funny. You know, yeah, I made a fool of myself. But those are the things that mean a lot to kids, you know, because they want to see you step out of your comfort zone. You know, they hear every teacher preaching to them saying, oh, you got to do this, you got to do that, you
Mhm.
know, almost like, and the teachers almost come from almost you know, holier than thou perspective. And so a lot of times when kids see you stepping out your comfort zone, that makes them respect you even more. And so that's a memory right there. Like I said, I even performed at a talent show. I did a you know, I did a parody of Soldier Boy. You know,
Oh, shucks.
he had what was his song about swag? Pretty Boy
Pretty
Swag.
much swag.
Well,
Mhm.
I did Nimitz teacher swag.
Oh,
So
come
you know, I wrote
through.
I,
Let's go through.
yeah, I changed the lyrics and we did a little goofy dance and everything to it
Mhm.
and for the talent show and it was pretty cool. So that I would say that's probably a big memory right there.
Mhm. Wow, that's amazing. And we have to do that at times to get outside the box, get outside of the norm, and
Hmm.
for real to just truly reach them. And especially this day and time. And now you transition into a speaker, you're an author, and you remind us of the message of success is a process. Can you explain that to us and what that means to you?
Yeah, I'll be honest, it's a pretty common message because, a lot of times when we look at successful people, we just see the success. That's it. We don't see the grind, the hard work, the burning the midnight oil,
Yeah.
all the behind the scenes stuff. And so that's what I mean by success is a process, not an event. That, when somebody is successful, it's been a lot of things that went into it. It's not where it just happens like,
Yeah.
bam, they're successful. It's not just an event like that. You attend an event. You don't really do any preparation for an event, you just attend it. Whereas success, it being a process, there's a lot of little things that go into it. There's a lot of sacrifices. And so that's basically what I mean by that.
And it's amazing that you say that because I just had some life things that happened to me earlier this year. And truly, I have sat down and remembered the process. It was one this time around that I enjoyed because I learned something. I learned something about myself I didn't know. And so when you're talking with persons in your audiences and you're speaking to them, what type of, I guess, connections or what are you getting from that?
What am I getting from it?
Hmm.
Well,
To,
for
to
me,
allow you to go on.
yeah, I mean, because I just, just to know the fact that, hey, I'm inspiring people, then I'm providing them some insights. Because here's the thing, we all go through ups and downs. And,
Yeah.
even me being a speaker, there's sometimes that I get very frustrated, even though, you might see me on social media being positive all the time and
Hmm.
everything.
Hmm.
But the
We do.
reality is, and I would share that with anyone, that, yeah, I have my ups and downs. I have my challenges. And so for me to get out in front of people and to share some very, very personal things with them, I know it's going to encourage them, because a lot of times people feel like, well, I'm the only one that's experiencing this,
Oh
or,
my gosh, yeah.
yeah, life is not fair. And so when I can throw out some stories about things I've been through or people close to me have been through, it's like, oh, wow, man, that was pretty tough too. And it's just a way of helping to, move us all forward.
Hmm. Definitely. Because that's the only way we have to go is forward. We can't look backwards. We
Hmm.
always have to go forwards. So I see that in your repertoire, a part of you speaking, you train as well. Can you talk more about that aspect too?
Yeah, I've been training people on starting a speaking business. I'm not training people to speak, but I'm helping them to understand that if you want to get paid as a speaker, you have to treat it as a business. Okay. A lot of times people treat it as a hobby. It's like, hey, I love speaking, I'm dropping mics and everything, and blah, 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 and that's great, but that doesn't necessarily translate into you being a paid speaker. And I mean, I've seen the rewards of it in my own life, and so I'm very passionate about helping people to realize, their dreams in regards to speaking. And so, that's what I'm training on right now. I'm doing like a 7-session cohort, basically starting from, uh, figuring out what you want to speak on to, getting booked, just a whole process. Because like I told my group last night, there's certain things, if you don't do them, you're just not going to make it. I really don't believe in absolutes a whole lot, but that's one absolute I believe in, is that if you don't do certain things in regards to building a speaking business, it's just not going to happen.
Yeah,
And so that's what I
yeah,
want to help people with.
yeah. And so within your trainings, give it at least maybe two little tidbits for persons out there that are wanting to start their own speaking business, their brand. What would you say to them and giving them those two tips?
Well, the first tip would be is to be consistent with whatever you do. And, because that's the thing, a lot of times people don't make it because they are inconsistent. Again, they're taking it as a hobby, and there's some things that you have to do systematically to get the business. And it's not the most exciting, it's not the sexiest things. Another thing is, I would say a lot of people don't make it because they quit. They just stop. They get turned off by the fact that they have to put in the consistent work. And so they just stop, right when they're probably on the verge of getting those paid engagements, they stop. So, those are two things right there. And I'll throw in another one. Treat it as a profession. You got to put your best foot forward. You have to put your best foot forward. You got to look like somebody that's paid to speak. Mm-hmm. And I'm not saying you got to go, I'm not talking physically. I'm not saying you got to go get plastic surgery or anything like that. But I'm saying, like, whatever your materials are, your approach, you got to look like somebody that's, that people would be willing to pay for.
Right.
So.
Right. Definitely. I love that. And I think I heard that from one of because you do a lot of Facebook Lives. And I think I heard that, and that stuck with me. And so everything I do, especially now for the show, for my consulting firm, for my speaking brand, I try to make it to look as professional as possible, because again, we want to get booked. We want persons to come our way. So if you look the part, you get the part, right?
Right. Got to pass the looks test.
There you go. So Mills, what would you say in a time like this? So much is happening in the world, and we all need that spark of encouragement, inspiration. What would you tell someone that's just kind of just facing that right now?
Well, I would tell them, first off, take care of you. Yes, you do want to be concerned with what's going on in the world. You want to be informed, but it's okay to unplug, because with social media, it can become overwhelming. I'm a Generation Xer, so I was around before social media and the internet. And so, it was kind of different back then because you didn't have just a constant stream of news, and then, people chiming in on it, giving their opinions. And like I said, to me, that can be overwhelming. So you have to take care of your mental health and maybe unplug, focusing on you. I'm not saying to ignore what's going on. You definitely want to be a light to someone. And that's another thing, you can help others. Everybody talks the talk, everybody got an opinion. Whether you agree with it or not, everyone has an opinion. But one thing I would recommend is, hey, do some things to help people, because there are people out there that need help. They're looking for someone to assist them in whatever way. And so if you have a gift that can help someone, I would encourage you to do that, especially during these challenging times. And so, yeah, those are some things right there, just off the top of my head, as to how you can get through this. And the thing is, if you look at things from a historical perspective, yeah, these are some pretty dark times, no doubt. Corona, and with the fight for social justice and, the election coming, it's some difficult times. But the thing is, hey, this Corona thing, if you look throughout history, and I've written about it before online, pandemics don't last forever. There has been no case of a pandemic lasting forever that's documented in history. So we're going to get it figured out at some point. And so that'll be one problem that's going to be eliminated. Hopefully we eliminate it sooner than later. Okay. And so, that's something right there to stay focused on. And, you always want to be using your time wisely. So you have to do what you need to do in order to make progress, keep making progress.
I couldn't have said better myself. It's only temporary. It's only temporary. It's not going to last. I love it. How can they find you on social media?
Okay, well, on social media, you can find me on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, Rodgers with a D, Rodgers Speaks. So Rodgers, my last name, and then the word speaks. And again, on those three platforms. I have a YouTube channel, Mr. Rodgers Neighborhood. Just type in Mr. Raj Neighborhood. That'd probably be the easiest way. And let's see. Oh, my website, obviously. Success is a process.net. So not .com, but .net. Success is a process.net.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you, thank you, thank you for being on. And we always remember success is a process. Thank you, Mills.
Thank you for having me.
Coming up, we chat with Mr. Tim Bowers. We'll be right back. The Finkley Experience is an education and consulting firm that specializes in first-generation education. We assist parents and their students with the college process. We train school administrators, and we also partner with colleges and universities to assist with their first-generation population. To learn more about our consulting firm and to purchase our book and workbook, please visit our website at thefinkleyexperience.com.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Michael Finkley Show. Y'all, we are still encouraging and inspiring people. And today we have another person that is that person that inspires and encourages and motivates. And he does this full time. Introducing everyone, Mr. Timothy Bowers. Tim.
Man, Mike, I am excited, brother, to finally be on your show, man. I was going to be upset if you weren't going to call me before the year was out. You know, I'm like, yo, I might get all these awesome people over here and not have Tim Bowers on here. So, man, but I am excited, and thank you so much for inviting me on the show.
Oh, no, thank you for saying yes. Thank you for saying yes. You know, you have this big agenda. You have so many things going on for yourself, but you made time for us. So we say thank you.
That's all right. That's all right.
We say thank
That's
you,
all right.
Tim. Yes. So I had to tell my viewers this, that me and you go way back. I'm talking about to college. As you see before us, this is my dear fraternity brother. And I feel that you were there when I crossed. I do feel that you were there when I crossed.
What year was it?
Spring 2009.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, because at Benedict College, it were the 17 Maniacs. Those are my CDs.
My God.
Uh-huh. Yeah, almost 12 years ago.
Yeah, bless your heart.
God.
No, that was an awesome line we brought over there. That was an awesome line. You guys were amazing.
Oh yeah, still in communication with them, and you know, brothers for life.
Yeah, for sure.
Tim, you have an awesome message of average to awesome. Where did this come from?
Man, I'm glad you asked that question. You know, it's gonna be some TMI in here, but because this is an authentic show, you know what I'm saying, I'm gonna share it. So I had a coach years ago who was trying to help me, you know, get into this thing. And I was in the bathroom actually, you know, using the restroom, man. And he called, I picked up the phone. I was excited because I wanted him to know I did a speech at Mid Carolina High School and they loved it, you know, and I was talking to him about it. And he was like, all right, Tim, this is good. I want you to start thinking about what's next. And I'm like, yo, I just did one speech, yo. Like, let me get a couple more in before we start talking about other things. He was like, no. If you want to be respected in this field, you know, you're going to have to write a book. And I'm like, bro, I don't want to write a book. I just want to speak to the people.
That's it.
All this other stuff. But he was like, yo, Tim, it's easy. Yo, you could just come up 7 key principles to go from average to awesome. I say, hold up. Average to awesome, that thing got a little ring to it. At the time, I didn't know how to mesh it with my story, but I just knew it was a catchy phrase and I loved it, right? And it resonated with me. And that's how the whole concept of average to awesome came about. But then it birthed into something that was meaningful for me to help me understand that in my life, yo, I was in a place where to many it was average, you know, and me doing average things and experiencing average things. And I was able to make a decision to come out of that and be on the other side of experiencing awesome.
Yeah, I gotcha. And it's a great message. It rings supreme. But what does it mean to you, and how does it relate to your own personal story in growing up in Allendale?
Yeah, man. Grew up in Allendale. I call it the real A, right?
Really?
You know what I'm saying? The real A. Don't you know what I'm saying? It's not up for debate, right? But growing up in Allendale, man, it taught me how to survive.
Hmm.
And if you really want something, you got to go get it. No one is going to give you anything, and nobody is coming to save you. You know, my mom raising 8 kids by herself. I'm the fifth child, and coming up in a household to where the highest education level was a high school diploma. You
Wow.
know, experiencing, Department of Juvenile Justice at the age of 13, getting expelled from school in the 7th grade, having to go to alternative school because they wouldn't let me back in. I was only 13 years old, Mike, at this time, and most people say, well, where was your father? And I was like, I tell them, my father helped create me, but he forgot about that part of helping to raise me.
Mm.
He was absent, man. So I grew up without a father. And it's not like I didn't see him sometimes. It's just that for him, he had his own trauma, his own issues, and he just didn't know how to be a father.
Yeah.
So he was absent, man. And even in high school, I experienced almost becoming homeless, dude. I'm talking about the truck in the yard, Mike, ready to take our mobile home. We already lost one home. So imagine being a high school student, right? Trying to do something different with his life, but then I wake up to chaos to where there's a truck in the yard ready to take our home.
Have
You
mercy.
know, so it was embarrassing. It was frustrating because we managed to get out of that, but I still had to go back to school the next day as if nothing never happened.
Yeah.
Nothing never happened. So experiencing that and that adversity, man, it gave me a level of tenacity and just strength, a work ethic that I just was embedded in me to go hard, right? So Average to Awesome was simply about transition. That's really what's about. If you give one word, it's about transitioning. It's about you having a goal, you having a vision, you having ideas, you having life aspirations, and you have these things, but you're not there yet. You're at this level that you're at, but you want to make the transition over to the side where your visions are, your goals that you want to achieve, your life aspirations. So like it's all about just making that transition.
Yeah. And within your own personal story, and what I've seen and what we discussed as well, there have been a lot of transitions in your life from
Yeah.
childhood to going to college, starting in the professional arena. And you just recently, not too long ago, actually had another transition and going to business full time for yourself. Talk about that and talk about the pros and cons of just being your own boss.
Yeah, so I've had like 3 or 4 transitions,
Mhm.
maybe more, I'm not thinking, but the major ones, the first one was growing up in Allendale and having those adverse childhood experiences, right? And sticking with the grind and finishing high school, going to Benedict College in 2006, graduating in 2010 with a Bachelor's of Science degree in Business Administration. That achievement made me a first-generation college graduate, right? So that within itself was the generational curse that I broke in my family right then and there. Like soon as I touched a degree, I became a history maker in my family, in my household, right? So that was the transition, number one. Number two, and we could walk through this in detail afterwards, but the number two one was once I left Benedict, it was difficult for me to get a job, Mike. Man, but I kept staying persistent. And one of the things I want your viewers to know is that persistence is the key to success.
Yeah.
Like it's a universal principle that whatever you want,
Mhm.
whatever it is that you're striving for, if you keep at it, eventually you will get it. Let me say it again. If you keep at it, you will eventually get it. Think about it this way. If you keep knocking on someone's door, Mike, they may not answer it, you know what I mean, in the first 10 seconds. But I'll tell you, the harder you knock, and then you put in the fact that you're kicking, somebody's going to come to the door.
Eventually.
Eventually, right? Because it's persistent. So for me, I went into working for Wells Fargo. Finally got into an employment, right? My second transition. Went in there in my first year, became a top performance sales banker, right? Within 2 years, right, I wanted to make a transition into the branch to where I can move up. I had this plan for my life, Mike. You know as well as you know, sometimes we can have a plan, but God got another one.
Another one, a bigger and a better one.
Right. We have this whole thing in our minds like, yo, this is what I want to do. And God said, bigger. You know, so I could not get inside of the branch. Nobody would interview me. Mind you, I'm already within the company. So I looked outward to work for a marketing and advertising company, Thomas Media Group. Everybody said you're crazy because this company was full commission. There was no benefits. Like I was literally on my own. So I took the money from my 401k and everything. I had close to like 10 grand, and I took that and I went into this another transition to where I'm now an account executive for Thomas Media Group. And I worked that, man, and a lot of struggles happened. And I talk about it in my book, how at one point, Mike, I had $1 and some change in my account. And I said, God, what is going on? Like, I know I made this transition and I thought you were here with me. What is going on? Wow. But I kept fighting, man. I kept staying persistent. I kept grinding. Whatever you want, yo. Like, you got to keep pounding. Listen, it's almost like the guy in the axe, right? The guy that axe in the tree, right? When he grabs the axe, he has the tree in front of him. The guy understands, in order for me to get wood, this tree got to come down. This tree got to come down because my family has to be warm. We got to have heat. Like, we got to get this wood. So he keeps chopping, right? But if he stops, the tree doesn't come down. You got to keep chopping. You got to keep chopping. And what's crazy is that, yo, you can keep chopping and it's 100 times and you stop, you will never know if the tree is going to fall or not until you hit the 101. So you got to just keep chopping, man. And, you know, it's the saying that says, like, it's hard to be the person who won't give up. So I just didn't give up. And then that transition into the account executive position was major for me. And from there, man, 2018, I made a decision that, yo, I am going to go full-time into professional speaking and consulting. And now I'm up to this point, man, 2020, full-time professional speaker.
What are some of the good and the bad of just being on your own?
So so the good, the pros of it is, you know, you get to make your own schedule. Like, you know, you feel like a boss, right? Everything is flexible. You know, when you get paid, you know, taxes being taken out, right? So you got to have the discipline to put that money aside. So you see a $5,000 check and you're like, yo, this is busted. Like, this is great. No, that's not your money. That's the first thing. Entrepreneurs, it's not your money. The second thing is that from a con perspective, you really don't, you have time, but you don't have time. In the beginning, you got to buy your time back. And how you do that is you got to keep grinding to a point where you build a systematic machine that when you're not there, is working for you. That's why McDonald's CEOs, they don't have to be in the restaurants. You know, they don't have to be in the restaurants. The system is already in place. You invest the money into a McDonald's, you just walk in, turnkey, and everything is there for you because they got a machine in place. But until you put that machine in place, like, you necessarily don't have time to trick off time. Right? You gotta be in it every day and doing something to get a small win, right? To get a small win each and every day, that snowball effect, to build that momentum and to create that system to where you're running it like a machine and it's running on its own. So the other thing for, you know, being able to know that this journey you can't do alone. Like, you better get you a mentor or a coach, because you'll run yourself into a level of depression, just frustration, you know, you feeling like you're not doing enough, because you don't have somebody guiding you. I look at it like this. It's almost like teaching a kid how to ride a bike. You know, like, when you're teaching a kid how to ride a bike, they have somebody with them because that kid doesn't know what he's doing. He can see other kids ride, but he doesn't know it. But until his dad or his uncle or somebody in the neighborhood come walk with him or ride with him per se, and he got the training wheels on, right? And he's riding. And once he gets the handle of it, the mentor, the coach kind of ease back up off him. The
Yeah.
coach and the mentor is still in the distance though, but you're riding on your own now. You may not need the training wheels, right? But if the tire goes flat, you may need to, signal the coach or the mentor to come
I
on.
need you. Yeah.
Right, because they didn't go through the process. You didn't teach you how to, change the tire or whatever it is on the bike, right?
Yeah.
But you have that mentor, that coach there to continue to guide you in that and then allow you to put it into action. That's why it's essential for you to have somebody in your corner that can give you the game on how you should maneuver in your area, in your lane. So I have a coach. I invest in a coach, man. You know what I'm saying? Where I spend hundreds of dollars a month to help me, whether it's marketing, whether it's my speech, whether it's what should I do next, whatever it is, man, because he is so successful in what he does that it would be a fool for me to think that I could just do it on my own without anybody's help.
That's amazing. That's amazing. And I love the way you say you have someone in your corner, that you are investing in yourself. But we know, especially as men of faith, that the good outweighs the bad. How do you keep yourself motivated through the bad?
Man, that's a good question, man. I'll be real with you, Mike. Sometimes the bad wins for a certain period of time. Let me give that to you. Like, I'm just giving you the bad wins sometimes. So that hour, that 2 hour. But how I come out of it is remembering why I started. Right? That's number one, remembering why I started. Number two, God wouldn't have given me this if he didn't think that I can get through it.
Yeah.
Like this journey is, I understand going into it that it's not going to be easy. So don't be naive going into entrepreneurship or whatever a new job, that everything is going to be easy, because it's not, right?
Yeah.
But you got to have the mindset that I am built for this. I have the abilities. It's already within me. I just got to find out, and I got to just unleash it. You know what I mean? Like, I got to go after it. And a lot of times it's fear that is keeping us from taking action. And I'm just telling you that you conquer the fear by taking action. Whether you trip or you fall, you still get up. That's why they say sometimes go back to the kid in you, because the kid in you don't care about falling. They don't care. They get up and they continue to keep walking until they get a rhythm. So you got to get a rhythm in what it is that you're doing. And a lot of you just don't got a rhythm yet. And the frustration is happening because you're trying to get a rhythm, right? And it's not happening in your time. Boom. It doesn't always happen in your time, because right now in your season where it's not a rhythm, it's teaching you something. And you got to look at it from a different perspective. You can't say, why me, but what is it teaching me?
Yeah.
Not why me, what is it teaching me? And once you find out the lesson in that thing, you can use that as a means of a tool to help you get ahead. So man, the frustration, it's going to come, but you got to remember why you started. And for me, man, I started to listen to like meditation music to zone myself out from that negativity. Don't, like, I know people say grind, Mike, but you better take a break. Like, when it comes, like, chill, calm yourself down, and grab control of like yourself and who you are, right? And understand in those moments, Mike, that you can't control what's out of your control.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I couldn't control that my dad was a drug addict. I can't control that, we grew up on government assistance and food. I could control that. But what I can control is what I do with my life. I tell people this: you can't control the cards that were dealt to you, but you can control how you play your hand. So in controlling how you play your hand, Mike, you understand this frustration is not going to take me out.
Yeah.
Why? Because I know why I'm doing what I'm doing. And it's essential for me to get over this, because there's somebody out there counting on me to succeed. And if I fail them. So my question to you is that if you don't do it, if you don't go after it, who are you going to be letting down? Is it your son, your mom, like, who is it that is going to be affected by your decision to not do what you're supposed to be doing? So with that mindset, man, I was also about that mindset, Mike. So with that mindset, brother, like you can be able to overcome that frustration that you're gonna have on this journey towards awesome.
Oh my word. Now that's a word right there. That is a word because someone is waiting for you.
Yeah,
I,
yeah.
I put it into the mode of if you don't in that way give it your talent, your passion, give it to the world, you're being selfish. You're being
Absolutely.
selfish. You're only thinking about yourself when it's in so many ways not about you.
At all.
It's not about
It's not about you, Mike. Oh my God. It is so much not about you, but as humans,
you.
we make it about us.
Every day, right?
Right? Every day we make it about us. You know, I still have to check myself. Like, yo, it ain't
Mm-hmm.
about you. Like when I don't want to post.
Yes.
You see what I'm saying? When I don't want to, you know, I don't want to do this today. And it's like, yo, Tim, it's not about you. It's almost like when you do that, God is right there saying, who are you to tell me what you're not going to do when I gave you what you're supposed to have to take your life to the next level? Who are you not to operate in your gift, in your calling? Don't you know if you operate in what it is that you're supposed to be doing, that everything around you, everything that's associated, touches you, changes forever?
Mm,
It's so much bigger than you. Listen,
so much.
this quote, your success is an insurance policy for somebody else. Come on,
Stop.
Mike.
We can just say it right
Mike,
here.
come on,
That
man.
what? Say that one more time, Tim, because someone
Your
needs to get that again.
success is an insurance policy for someone else.
That is amazing. That's amazing.
Yep.
Wow. Wow. And that's what keeps us going. It
Yeah.
has to. It has
Yeah.
to. Oh
Yeah.
wow, that's great. What's next for Tim?
Man, so content creating. We know we in this virtual world right now and not able to get in front of students like I used to. With, you know, in certain states, you know, they're allowing people to come in and that kind of thing, but for the
Yeah.
most part, everything is virtual. So just content creating video series, going in the studio. I call it the studio, but with a stoop, you know, and with my
I love it.
videographer. Yeah, my videographer and just creating content. You know, social emotional learning is a hot topic right now because, you know, kids feel like, yo, I'm behind a computer all day. Like how I handle these emotions that's going on in this world, you know, socially, I'm not around my friends. You know, how can I still be social in this world right now with everything that's going on, you know?
Yeah.
So being able to know how to handle that, I think is key. So this content creating virtually is really what I'm focusing on right now, so I can provide to these middle schools, high schools, colleges, and universities.
Okay, cool. That's amazing. And using your book as that awesome gateway as well.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
So guys, I wrote a book in 2017. You can see it here. It's titled "Average to Awesome: Transitioning from Where You Are to Where You Want to Be." In this book is a motivational self-help book. It's meant to guide, direct, and be like that silent person on your shoulder telling you that, hey, you can do this, and this is what you need to be doing, and don't do that, do it this way. And it's to help you make that transition from where you are to where you want to be. But I wrote it in 17, and the year after I wrote it, it became an award-winning book. Yeah, man, it became an award-winning book. And you know, I tell people you could go to Amazon to purchase it, but I prefer you to go to timbowerspeaks.com because that's how you're going to get your autograph.
There you go. Y'all heard it here, right? Y'all heard it. Y'all heard it. You're gonna autograph me one of those books too. How can they find you on social media, Tim?
Man, social media is Instagram, Tim Bowers Speaks, Facebook, Tim Bowers Motivates. Please subscribe to my YouTube where you can get student motivation, motivational videos at Tim Bowers Speaks, Twitter, Tim Bowers Speaks, LinkedIn, Timothy Bowers.
Mm-hmm.
And my website again is timbowerspeaks.com.
I love it. I love it. Tim, in one word, one more word, encourage the viewers that are watching in a time like this, in one word, sum it up for us.
In one word, give your viewers, say that one more time, you went out a little bit.
So in one word, to close us out, encourage the viewers out there that are watching in a time like this.
Yeah. perspective. And I say perspective because you have to view it differently to have a different outcome. If you view it from a negative standpoint, I'm in this pandemic, this virus is running rampant, job is not bringing us back, things are happening out of my control, what should I do? Versus looking at it from a standpoint of, I have time to create. I have time to unleash the thing that's been tugging at me inside of me. I have a gift, and now I can cultivate that gift in this times that we have right now. So the perspective that you view it as will determine how you come out of it, because you can lay in it and allow it to beat you down, or you can use it as a way to come up out that valley and become something that you didn't even think was in you, but it's how you view it and look at it. And if your outlook change, your work ethic will change, and your ability to see things from a different perspective will change as well. I say this, man, Mike, I tell people, you were not born to be average. You were born to leave a legacy worth remembering. It's not about where you are right now. It's about where you're going. Right? It's about where you're going. And if you don't have the mentality to say, where I am right now, it's not where I'm going to always be, then you're going to always stay stagnant. Right? Just like seasons change, days change, years change, you can change as well. But you're going to have to put the work in. You're going to have to stay persistent. You're going to have to stay consistent. And you're going to have to believe within yourself that it can be done. You can't jump from average to awesome. There is a gradual progression.
Yes, yes.
It's over time, not overnight. So you have the ability. You're awesome already. You just have to believe it, and you just have to put the work in it to show the results. Yo, it's the kid, Tim Bowers, man. Thank you for having me, yo.
That's it. Tim Bowers, everybody. Thank you so much for being on. I know I was encouraged, and I hope someone else is encouraged as well. Thank you, Tim.
Thank you, Mike.
On the next Michael Finkley, Wednesday, we chat with Executive Director and Chief Operating Officer of Southeastern College and Institute, Robert Kaiser, how they're coping with COVID-19 and plans for the future. Don't you dare miss the next Michael Finkley.
Hi, welcome back to the Michael Finkley Show. Y'all, waiting for this. What did you learn? What did you get from it? Were you encouraged? Were you inspired? I know I was. Leave comments below and let's chat about it, y'all. This was a great inspirational show. I hope that you were inspired. Thank you, Mills Rodgers, and thank you, Tim Bowers, for being on today and just sharing your gift to the world. I wish you all much success in the future. Thank you so much for being on. On the next Michael Finkley, we'll be chatting with Darnell Talbert with us, and he is a part of the U.S. Coast Guard, and he's been in it for many years, but he also recruits students as well. We also, that I am with the Finkley Experience, which my shirt says, and again, we assist students within their college and career endeavors. And so I'm like, I need you on to talk about this endeavor, this career that students may not even know about. So again, it's an educational show ready for you in advance. Thank you so much for watching. Again, if you have not subscribed to our channel, please do so at the Michael Finkley Show. And then if you'd love to be a guest, please email us at michael@finkleyexperience.com. Thank you so much for watching. Y'all, guess what? We'll see you Monday. Have a good one.